Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at silver. It is time for another update, and I was actually going to record this yesterday, but I was struggling due to the fatigue to put two words together after about 3 minutes of speaking, and it just wasn't possible. And we are having our second day with a very strong drop here on the silver chart. So for context, on the larger time frame, many interpretations are possible, but we are focusing on this idea of a larger A, B, C pattern at the moment, where within this wave C we are tracking an ending diagonal. So we would have a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, and a wave 3 to the upside that I would expect, that I would favor to still be ongoing, yeah? Either within discount or within a different pattern. I expect this uptrend to continue a little while longer at the very least. So for context, we have here within this ABC pattern to the upside, an ending diagonal unfolding within this wave C. But even within it, we have a 5-wave pattern, and within this 5-wave pattern, I'm still looking for the wave 3 to extend itself, as within this structure, we are still holding the relevant levels of support, and it would look better with one additional high before forming the larger wave 4 correction. Now, if it so happens that we break our internal support and we start the larger wave 4 correction directly, I wouldn't hold it against it, I would still track that interpretation, but at this point I do still strongly prefer that we extend in a more direct fashion higher. Now, within this wave 3 in silver, once again, we are tracking an ending diagonal, so we have an A, B, C structure within this area. Within this wave C, we are tracking once again an ending diagonal. So by nature, it's a very corrective structure we are tracking within this area. And within it we have a wave 4 that we expect a bottom to be in place for, yeah? We did push even below the last level of support, but it wasn't a sustained break, it was just a week below this last level, the 61.8% retracement, and we have an ABC structure clearly in place within this area, which is all we expect from a wave 4 correction. Now, if you enjoyed the video so far and you like these updates, please don't forget to leave a like, as it really helps us out a lot. Now, what have we been expecting within this structure since the bottom in the wave 4? So, ever since we actually formed this, I provided you an internal area of support for a potential 1-2 setup, potentially an AB setup, not really a problem, but we had an initial 5-wave move to the upside, and we were looking with high probabilities that after a 3-wave correction we would get at least another 5-wave move to the upside. In the previous video, we had already formed a structure that would have been sufficient for a wave C to be complete. Yeah, we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 possibly in place. And we even provided an area of support for a wave B reversal in such scenario. We have been expecting with good chances that this would only manage to build an ABC structure within a wave A based on how this pattern unfolded, based on the strength, or therefore lack of strength within this movement to the upside, and we were prepared for a larger drop, and we still had an area of support that was conveniently overlapping with the entire bottom bound of the larger area of support. Now, even though this was available to us, we were preferring in the previous video this white interpretation, this white structure, where within this wave C we would get an additional extension, another high, because we were looking for an impulse, and within this structure it was going to fit better with one additional high. Now, that wasn't necessary, but this area of support served two purposes. So firstly, it would allow us to still look for continuation to higher prices, but secondly, it would have signaled that a break below the 50% retracement at the $84 level was going to be our signal that the wave B in yellow would have already started. Now, during the previous video, we were heading into the lower levels of this support, of this correction, and we even highlighted specifically here the 38.2% retracement, which is the ideal target for wave 4, which was very much in line with structural support from these previous swing lows. So we were highlighting this to possibly be the reversal area, and this has just executed flawlessly, afterwards allowing the extension in a follow-up wave 5 to the upside to complete a larger wave C pattern, which again, just flawless. Maybe we would have preferred within this wave 5 to form a higher high within this latest push. The structure would have looked a little bit better, but this just goes on to show you how relevant it is to be prepared to not get that last leg up, especially towards the end of a trend. So for context, this would have been a fifth wave of a fifth wave of a wave C. Pretty much the last wave to the upside within this entire structure that we didn't get. Now, it seems that we have started the wave B correction. Yesterday, I was going to look for potential reversal, for potential continuation, but even last night we didn't have an area of support we could have tracked for continuation to higher prices, and I would have still been looking for a push at least into the 38.2% retracement for the larger area of support that could have allowed a bit more of a reversal, possibly even more than what just happened here. But since we now have this development in place, we can start looking for the next area of support that we would track for such a wave B correction. So we would be watching the levels between the $82.5 all the way down to the $70 level. Based on this expectation, we would be looking to create the reversal in the wave C to the upside before breaking this area of support, and a break below it, and more specifically a break below the 61.8% retracement, would be a quite strong signal that this wave 4, that this pattern would likely see a top to already be in place and the larger correction would be occurring, yeah? The larger wave 4, where a wave 3 top from a larger degree would have formed here. Now, at this point, I still prefer that we extend within another high, and I know there's a lot of uncertainty right now in the market, but I see this more of a fear of that uncertainty. I don't really see it as a clear indicator that the levels of support, that the structures are going to break and that we will not manage to extend to higher prices. Now, what I would like to also point out from this large time frame perspective is that relevant levels of support for me would be specifically here, the 61.8% retracement, yeah, around the $74-$75 level, and then along this area, I would be looking for as low as the $70 level, where we have these previous lows that have formed that allowed this massive extension to the upside to complete this larger wave 3. Now, if we want to focus more specifically on the structural support, we have an additional major one here, the $74 level. Yeah, it is also in line here. Then the $72-$71 area is also very relevant for me. But basically, I would be watching the entire block here between the $75 down to the $70 for additional support to occur if we even reach this area. Currently, we see that within this wave B, we have a three-wave pattern that seems to already be in place within this structure. Now, I cannot confirm at this point that a bottom would be in place. I don't see any clear indication nor a relevant area of resistance to be broken, so I am still extremely cautious. I am still prepared for this to go to even lower prices. And for context, this isn't necessarily the highest probability trade setup. It is more of a strategic positioning. It's very similar with gold, where a lot of countries are hoarding silver for strategic reasons. So there is a lot of demand. Pair that up with rigorous risk management, and acquiring within this area may be lucrative in the long term, being aware that this isn't the most reliable structural support that we have within this area. But I still look at this with high interest. Even though it is just a three-wave pattern to the upside, the overall trend still remains very strong from a large time frame perspective, and I believe there is still a lot of potential. And once again, even if we would have the larger wave 3 top in place and we would have the wave 4, the large wave 4 correction occur, I would still be looking for continuation to higher prices, also factoring in the insane amount of silver demand that is ongoing these days. So with all of this combined, I am looking with quite high interest within this area. Now, even though this is not a high probability structure, we do have plenty of those, and if you want to get access to our monthly top picks where we identify for you such structures, you can check out our channel newsletter. The link for sign up is in the description and it is completely free. and we have just sent our first list this weekend, yeah? Now let's have a look within the smaller time frame here, because this pattern is very incomplete in my opinion. I would still be very wary of any indication that a top would be in place, and at this point I would even consider it possible for this to still be within an internal wave tree within this area. But I would need to first see if we have pushed into the ideal target for the wave tree within this structure, and yes we have. So I didn't get enough time to actually look at this before the video, because this has developed during the recording even more so, and within this structure I'm looking basically at a potential ending diagonal within a wave C. So I'm watching at a 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. But I wouldn't assume just yet that this wave tree would be complete. And within this wave tree, within the wave C internally, I might prefer another low to be occurring, and for this I would be watching the resistance levels up to the 50% retracement. Now this is an estimative idea, and I wouldn't be able to call for a bottom if we manage to break this area of resistance, because it is within too small of a time frame. But what would be instead highly relevant would be a break above the previous swing high, yeah, basically our wave B, that would allow this ABC structure to have a more clearly established bottom, because even though I would prefer to extend to lower prices within this structure, I cannot rule out the possibility of having discount fall in something like a 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. It's just that based on simply the look of this pattern, I would need some evidence, I would need a signal that a bottom would be in place, and for that I would use the $81.35 level as the first sign, but so far, even within the 5-minute time frame, we seem to have only pushed into the 38.2% retracement, which is the ideal target for a wave 4. And even then, I might be looking even for this wave 3 to extend to lower prices itself, yeah? So, in an ideal structure, in an ideal pattern, I would see another low form within this wave 3, get a wave 4 correction, and then another low within a 5th wave. So, these expectations could very easily let us land in the region of the $75 to $70 level. And at the same time, if you're interested, I wouldn't bet on going to lower prices. If you definitely want to accumulate within this area of support, we are still within the larger area. We are still in a structure where we have a 3-wave pattern complete, where we really do not need any additional extensions to lower prices to consider a structure to be full. And for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like once again, and if you enjoy our content and you find it useful, don't forget to check out our channel membership. Other than that, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you would like me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.